Sometimes you just want to sit on the couch and play, and that's what consoles have a place in gaming. I'm not sure what that's going to look like in 5 years, but there's that type of gaming, and then there's speedrunning your favorite game with 800 mods. You cannot do this on console, only on PC, and really, some games just thrive there. Whether it's the mods, like I said, or the fact that mouse and keyboard is a superior way to play FPSs, or just not being locked into 30 FPS purgatory. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 games that are just better on PC. Starting out at number 10, it's Mafia: The Old Country. For a few years, we were getting console games that generally had parity with their PC counterparts, but recently we're starting to see more games that are just unable to hold a steady 60 FPS, even when set to performance on systems like PS5 Pro. Obviously, with a powerful enough PC, most games are going to look better than on console, but with some games, the fidelity is good enough on consoles, it just doesn't matter. Then there's games like Mafia: The Old Country. This game has eye-watering system requirements on PC, but there's a reason for it because this game can look absolutely stunning. With a beefy PC, this game looks incredible, but on consoles, you're forced to choose between two settings, both of which are compromised. You can either play the game in quality mode and get improved visuals but a locked 30 FPS frame rate, or play on performance and get stuck with muddier visuals and annoyingly inconsistent frame rate that, only retains a solid 60 some of the time. On PC, you can, I will stress this, can get 60 FPS on the highest setting, even above, and you don't even need a 5090.
Keep it up! That prize money is ours!
A 4090 will do it. It's asking a lot, still, but that's PCs for you. They can easily outpace consoles in both performance and fidelity, but it does cost more. That said, this is an absolutely beautiful game that really benefits from a powerful PC. It's really a graphical showcase more than anything, and while consoles can't quite keep up with what it's doing, a good PC gives you the best of both worlds. At number 9, it's Black Myth: Wukong, an absolute system scorcher, and in some situations, maybe the best looking game ever made. Some of the stuff they managed to do here, it's practically photorealistic, which makes sense. They used actual photogrammetry to map the real world stuff, but it's just really impressive to see it in motion. This game is really pushing the limit of what's possible on consoles, and the team that made the game is actually relatively small and inexperienced, which, not that 8 million subscribers is anything to shake a stick at, relative to the amount of people actually watching. Our subscriber base is pretty small. Like, the vast majority of people watching this are not subscribed. You should change that, because if you want to see more videos from us, that is easily the best way to. It helps us out. In turn, that hopefully helps you out if you're looking for Game Ranks content, and we appreciate it a great deal. So smash that subscribe button or whatever. I know it's annoying, but thanks for doing that. But the team wasn't just small, it was inexperienced too. I think they have more of a background in animation than game development, so performance has been an issue with the game from the start. It hasn't been perfect on PC, but it's especially rough on consoles. The stuttering and performance dips would be annoying in any game, but they're especially a problem with Black Myth because, wow, does this game have fast-paced combat. Stutters and input delays are not just annoying, they make the game feel practically unplayable, and the console versions of the games, they struggle. It's also not absolutely perfect on PC, I should repeat. This game really pushes the boundaries on graphics, so there are performance dips, but in general, the frame rate is a lot higher, and the input delay situation is significantly less annoying on PC. When I was testing the game out on consoles, I did experience a few moments where the game just didn't register a button press, which is a massive problem in an action game. It's still one of the best freaking games out there, but that's an issue. If you got the machine for it, PC's the way to go with Wukong. It's not the most optimized, but at least you're not missing inputs. At number 8 is Red Dead Redemption 2. This is a drum we've banged on a few times, but it has to be repeated. Why are there no performance patches for Red Dead 2? Why is this game still locked at 30 FPS on consoles? It's a generation old. Came out on the PS4 and Xbox One. It was a massive hit, and they have never bothered to release an updated version or do anything as basic as just drop a patch to improve the game's performance on modern consoles, which I gotta add is mostly around the fact that they limit the frame rate to 30. There's no reason to do that on consoles. The PS5 is a lot more powerful than the PS4. Xbox Series is the same, although there is a tiered situation there, and I don't even want to get into it. Xbox's shit at the moment. But hey, they put GTA 5. They gave us a patch for that on next gen. So that means the console versions of this absolute classic are just woefully out of date compared to the superior PC version. The performance is just significantly better. The resolution is higher, the textures are more detailed, the draw distance is longer. The game is just way better on PC. It feels better to play to for a lot of reasons, but it's just a better game there. And the annoying thing about all this is that the PC version, even though it's clearly much better, it still feels neglected. There's some annoying visual bugs every once in a while that should have been squashed a long time ago. And the performance isn't even necessarily as good as it should be, even though it's still way better than the console versions. If you're interested in playing RDR2 these days, play it on PC. It's night and day how much better it looks, how much more responsive it is to play. For a game as old as this now, it's like the gold standard for visuals in an open world game. Stuff like Assassin's Creed Shadows might technically be more advanced, but the devil's in the details, and Red Dead 2 just does the details better than anybody. The world feels carefully designed, it still looks more realistic than anything else out there, and on PC, it's better.
No, come on. Oh, crap, hell! Don't do this. Don't do this.
At number 7 is Dishonored 2. Pretty much all of Arcane's games run at 60 FPS on consoles, especially on the Series X, where they get an FPS boost. But for whatever reason, Dishonored 2 is stuck at a flabby 30 with some stuttering and even some occasional slowdown. It's a game that was punching just a little too far above its weight class when it was released back in 2016. And it shows when you play the game on console, because it's not that smooth. On PC, the game is just crazy smooth, easily hits 60 FPS or higher, with higher resolutions, very detailed texture work. To this day, probably Arcane's most beautiful game. Not necessarily best, easily most visually impressive though. Even now, just walking through the Mediterranean-inspired cities of Karnaca, there's a level of detail in the textures and designs that just is not present in their other games.
From the most sophisticated laboratory in the Isles. Please, try not to damage anything as you die.
There's something almost Myst-like about the world of Dishonored, and it's that much more Myst-like in Dishonored 2. It feels like an early PC game FMV come to life with super high-resolution textures and complicated contraptions you engage with. It's a game that really benefits from the power of a PC, especially because it's never gotten a proper update for the current generations of consoles. It's another console version stuck in the past, while the PC version feels very modern, even 10 years past when the original game came out. At number 6 is Portal 2. It's not always just visuals that make a game better on PC compared to consoles. Sometimes it comes down to features, like what a game has to offer on one platform versus another, and Portal 2 on PC is easily the best looking version of the game. The console versions are all either 1 or 2 generations old at this point. It's on Xbox 360, PS3, Nintendo Switch, and that's it. When the Switch is the most modern console your game's been released on, that's maybe a problem in terms of people being able to access it. In terms of performance, of course, the PC is going to be more consistent with sharper visuals, but the real deciding factor is the community test chambers. These things are PC only, but they just add so much value to the game. The creation suite is super easy to use, finding custom levels is a breeze, and plenty of people still make them today. The ability to make custom maps is pretty much always going to be a PC exclusive thing. Sometimes console players get a few bones thrown their way with Bethesda games and their officially supported mods, but it's never the full experience. Being able to modify games to play user content that actually has a chance of not disappearing in a puff of smoke when the devs or the console manufacturer decides they don't want to pay the pennies necessary to keep the servers running is one of the best things about playing games on PC, especially when it's as easy to do as with Portal 2. You just load up a level and that's it. You're done. You even get a bunch of new lines from Cave Johnson, which is one of those things they didn't have to do, but adds a ton to the custom levels. It's just a great feature that makes Portal 2 a must-play on PC. At number 5 is Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed. This game is an unusual case because it's one of those games that seems like the console version would be the one that's supported and the PC version would be an afterthought, but for whatever reason, that's not the case. And the PC version was the one that got consistently updated and got the most DLC characters on top of a bunch of PC exclusives. Other platforms got their own characters, but the ones on PC are just bizarre, like the Team Fortress 2 cast, for instance. There's a tank from Company of Heroes 2, a Shogun from Shogun Total War. There's a guy who's the football manager. This is a character in a kart racing game. It's weird, but you gotta love it. Also, the improved resolution and the full 60 FPS support adds a lot to the game. Somehow the best version of this kid-friendly Sega racing game is on PC, but that's just how things shake out sometimes. The PC does more than just a basic performance patch and adds a few new characters. The original game was enhanced here too, like the racers have improved animations, more detailed models, and the online multiplayer, at least while it was still active, was the most up-to-date version. It was and is the best way to play the game, at least at time of writing, the best Sega kart racing game. At number 4 is Payday 2. The biggest games and publishers generally manage to keep updates consistent between all versions of their games. But when you're talking about a smaller, more PC-centric developer like the guys behind the Payday game, sometimes that just does not happen. I mean, even big games sometimes fail to keep the Switch versions of their games properly updated. But with something like Payday 2, the difference on the PC and the console, it's massive. While this game remakes the most popular game from Overkill, I mean, it's on 360 through the Series X, PlayStation 3, 4, Switch. They're never very good about keeping the console games updated, though. They essentially gave up on the Xbox 360 version and only released 2 DLCs for it. Later, the Series X versions were consistently about 6 months behind the patches compared to the PC one. In 2019, they could just pulled the plug on console Payday 2. And while the PC still getting consistent updates now, they've actually just announced they're making more content for the game, so on PC it's still being updated more than a half a decade past when they gave up on console. So the bottom line here is that if you're still playing Payday 2, and you can, there is still a pretty big community for the game, and they play the PC version. The developer, most players have kind of given up on Payday 3, but the second game is still going pretty strong. And number 3 is Dragon Age Origins. Go back to the Xbox 360 era, and nobody really knew how to port more PC-centric games to consoles. That's that simple. These days, games like Baldur's Gate 3 are able to make it work, but Dragon Age Origins did not. If anyone is interested in going back and playing this game, the PC version is the essential one to play. It's so different on consoles, it almost feels like a different game. It's not just that you're directly controlling your protagonist, while on PC it's click to move. It's everything about the game. The game camera is constantly zoomed in on third person, while on PC it defaults to top-down view, and that much better supports what the game's trying to do, as well as the level of detail of the graphics, which is not massive. It's cool that they could zoom in back then, but the close-up perspective doesn't do the game any favors, especially on console. This was an ugly game then, and now, woof, it's very ugly. Textures are muddy, models lack detail, environments sometimes look like something out of an Xbox, not Xbox 360, Xbox. On PC, a lot of those graphical issues are avoided because the camera's so zoomed out, it just looks better. Controls on console are awkward too, and the combat's simplified so much that it's practically brain dead, so there's far fewer reasons to use a tactical view like the PC version. It's just an all-around inferior port of a very PC-centric game experience with lots of menus and systems to navigate that just don't translate well to consoles. Now, devs have a much better idea of how to make games like this work with a controller. There's still some frustration here and there with even modern RPGs, but they play the hell a lot better than Dragon Age did back on the 360. And number 2, they are billions. Man, speaking of games that control better on PC than consoles, if there's one nut developers have yet to crack, it's controls in real-time tactics and strategy games. A lot of them try, and there have been some halfway decent attempts, but nothing really matches the ease of using a mouse and keyboard on these kinds of games. There's always going to be an element of awkwardness trying to translate a mouse-centric game to the controller, and They Are Billions is one of the worst about it. This game is made by a small indie team, so I don't want to go too hard on them, but the problems with this game on consoles are just inherent in this genre. It's just that it's somehow even worse about it than other games. It's so awkward on console. The buttons do not make sense for what they're doing, and they didn't really adapt the interface to be very different for the very different form of control that you're using. At least on consoles that you plug in a mouse and keyboard to play the game that way, but that's still a problem because the game's console performance is pretty bad. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why a PC to console port can be bad. There's a lot of examples too, especially when you're talking about smaller studios. It's a constant problem that's best avoided by just playing games like this on PC. It's just too much of a crapshoot whether it's going to work.
Our soldiers are in trouble. They are trying to break into the building.
Faster than my bow.
They are infecting our building.
And then finally at number 1, it's Sonic Unleashed. A unique case because it doesn't actually have an official PC port. Instead, what we're talking about here is an unofficial recompilation of the Xbox 360 version's code. These types of recompilation projects are getting more and more popular on the PC side, but they're mostly for older games like for the Nintendo 64 and earlier. This is the first Xbox 360 attempt to recompile, to my knowledge, and it makes it even more impressive that it exists. Now, to actually play it, you need to pull the files from an actual Xbox 360 disc, so getting it running isn't easy, but if you're a massive Sonic fan, it is more than worth the hassle because playing Unleashed at a silky smooth 60 FPS with modern PC graphics enhancements and resolution, whew, it's nice. The game isn't incredible, at least all the way through. It's Sonic Unleashed, so there's the very to-taste, and regardless of taste, a little overly long werehog levels, but compared to the console version, the PC game is just, it's insane how much better it is. Just having a constant frame rate and less blurry visuals, that makes the game way more fun to play. There's no dropped frames or slowdowns, just a silky smooth experience. Playing this game on PC elevates it from about a 6 out of 10 to an 8 easily. Like, it's a massive improvement that manages not to make any major gameplay changes, but performance. I mean, I don't know if you played this game on the Xbox 360, but it doesn't perform well. Having it perform well, it makes it feel like a new game. We got a quick bonus point for you, Assassin's Creed Unity. Unity was a highly divisive game upon release for many because it was a really buggy game. It also had kind of awkward gameplay. It was trying to do something new with the Assassin's Creed formula. But one thing that was universally praised was the game's visuals, at least eventually. On PS4 and Xbox One, the game was actually pretty rough. It chugged when there were crowds, and there was pretty much always crowds in the game, so yeah. There are moments where it can barely keep a consistent 30 FPS. On consoles, the performance is terrible, and when it first came out, the PC version was not that much better. But they've mostly fixed the problems on PC. And the difference is just very, very big. The game looks astounding. It's like a moving piece of art. There's a reason so many people sing the praises of this game to this day. And it's not because of the riveting story, it's because how impressive the lighting engine is, how dense the streets can get, and how realistic some of the landmarks look. It's a beautiful game that was way ahead of its time in a lot of ways, and that's probably why it took them years to get the game fixed. Even now, if you want to impress people, you're going to need a few mods to make it really pop, but it's there.
All because Mirabeau wants to secure his legacy.
Monsieur de la Serre believed a truce was possible. And look where it got him.
And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconHero. We'll see you next time right here on Game Ranks.